Hey folks, I wanted to show you something new that I discovered in Camtasia, and I didn't know it before until I started noodling around, and so maybe you didn't know it either. And this has to do with timers, or countdowns in Camtasia. So in the library, under the Counters folder, I'm going to just drag one of these in, set the font color to black so we can see it, and whatever the length we set for this, it will count down by that much. So if I shorten it, this is 7 seconds, 18 frames, and this can go all the way up to minutes and hours if we really want it to. So just extending this out to be over a minute long, we can see that this does go to hours, minutes, seconds, and that last number is frames, which is usually denoted by a semicolon. Now that's cool and all, but my use case didn't call for a count down, it called for a count up. So I was wondering how we could manipulate these counters to do what we need them to do. This may be in the documentation somewhere or maybe in the training, but I may have forgotten it since going through those trainings or since reading that documentation. So what I did instead was I double-clicked into the text itself and found that we're using variables for these counters. Camtasia seems to use the format of percent and then parentheses, and inside the parentheses are the variable parameters. Normally, variables are nested between two percentage signs, but in this case, it isn't. But if you start playing around with the text inside of these variables, you can discover some new things. So right now we have hours, but it's only 1 unit. Minutes, which is 2 units, meaning 2 places. So if it's 1 minute, it's 0, 1, but if it's 10 minutes, it's 1, 0. Same idea for seconds, same idea for frames. If we add an extra H here, our hours now has 2 places. Back to 1 if we remove one of those H's. And the same thing applies to minutes as well. If you only know that you're going to be using a single-digit set of minutes, you can delete one of those M's, and it will take off one of the placeholders. If you don't need hours altogether, you can do that too. If you don't need frames altogether, you can do the same thing. Probably delete that semicolon too. Now, because I needed a count up timer and not a count down timer, I was wondering how we could flip this around. Normally, you could go to your media bin and reverse a clip, but this doesn't show up in your media bin. It's a counter. It's an element on the timeline. So I was thinking to myself, what is this R in this variable? So my brain immediately went to reverse. And when I deleted reverse, it didn't quite work out. It just changed it to an H. But then I started thinking, if R is reverse, we need a different value to make it go forward. So if R stands for reverse, maybe F stands for forward? Let's try it. Forward here, but we want everything to be forward. Forward, forward, and forward. Let's see what happens. Ooh, we're on the right track. Now we have zeros instead of a number that's already predetermined by the length of our item here. So let's go ahead and try it out. And success. That's how you turn a counter from a count down to a count up and also manipulate the variables that make the counter the counter.